6 Unusual Ways Japanese Minimalism Helped Me Grow Spiritually. Have you ever wondered why Japanese homes feel so peaceful, even with just a few simple items? What if we told you that letting go of stuff could actually help you find deeper meaning in life? Today, we're sharing 6 surprising ways Japanese minimalism transformed our spiritual journey. Today, we're diving deep into something really special: how Japanese minimalism became our unexpected spiritual teacher. Now, when most people hear minimalism, they think about having fewer things, right? Clean spaces, empty rooms, maybe some fancy white furniture. But what we discovered through Japanese minimalism goes way beyond just organizing our closets. It actually opened doors to spiritual growth we never saw coming. The foundation of Japanese minimalism. Before we jump into our 6 discoveries, let's talk about what makes Japanese minimalism different from what you might see on Instagram. Japanese minimalism, or what they call danshari, isn't just about having less stuff. It comes from Buddhist and Shinto traditions that see simplicity as a path to understanding life better. In Japan, this way of living has been around for centuries. It's not a trend or a lifestyle hack. It's deeply connected to how people think about their relationship with the world around them. When we started learning about this, we realized we were stepping into something much bigger than we expected. 1. The art of letting go taught us about non-attachment. Our first spiritual lesson came from something we thought would be simple: cleaning out our stuff. But as we started going through our belongings, something interesting happened. We found ourselves holding on to things not because we needed them, but because of the memories or feelings attached to them. Japanese minimalism taught us about mono no awara, this beautiful concept about accepting that everything in life is temporary. When we started applying this to our belongings, we realized we were also learning to let go of emotional baggage we'd been carrying around for years. We remember sitting in our living room looking at a box of old letters from college friends. Instead of keeping them out of guilt or nostalgia, we learned to appreciate the good times they represented and then let them go. This wasn't about being cold or uncaring. It was about understanding that holding on to physical reminders wasn't the same as honoring the experiences themselves. This practice of letting go started showing up in other areas of our lives too. We became better at not holding grudges, at accepting when friendships naturally ended, and at being okay with change. It's like our stuff was teaching us how to handle life's bigger challenges. 2. Creating sacred space without religious items. Here's something that surprised us completely. We always thought you needed special religious items or decorations to create a spiritual space at home. But Japanese minimalism showed us something different: that emptiness itself could be sacred. In Japanese culture, there's this concept called ma, the power of empty space. It's not about the absence of things, but about the presence of possibility. When we cleared out our living room and left just a few carefully chosen items, something magical happened. The space started feeling more peaceful, more open to quiet moments and reflection. We started having deeper conversations in that simple space. We found ourselves naturally wanting to sit quietly there in the mornings. Without trying to create a meditation room or shrine, we had somehow made a place where our minds could rest and our spirits could breathe. The interesting thing is that this sacred feeling wasn't coming from adding spiritual decorations or symbols. It was coming from removing distractions and creating room for something deeper to emerge. We learned that sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is make space for spirit to show up naturally. 3. Daily rituals became moving meditation. One of the most unexpected spiritual gifts from Japanese minimalism came through our daily routines. When you don't have a lot of stuff, taking care of what you do have becomes much more intentional and mindful. In Japanese culture, there's great respect for everyday activities. Making tea isn't just about getting caffeine. It's a moment of presence and care. Cleaning isn't just about removing dirt. It's about showing gratitude for your space and belongings. These weren't big, dramatic spiritual practices. They were tiny moments of awareness woven throughout our day. What amazed us was how these small changes in attitude transformed ordinary moments into something special. We weren't adding more activities to our schedule or trying to meditate for hours. We were simply bringing more attention and gratitude to things we were already doing. 4. Silence became our greatest teacher. Before embracing Japanese minimalism, our home was full of background noise, TV playing, music streaming, notifications pinging constantly. But as we simplified our space, we also started simplifying our sound environment, and that's when we discovered the spiritual power of silence. In Japanese aesthetics, silence isn't empty, it's full of potential. They understand that quiet spaces allow us to hear things we might not otherwise miss, not just physical sounds, but inner voices, intuitive feelings, and deeper thoughts that get drowned out by constant noise. We started having what we called silence mornings, where we wouldn't turn on any devices for the first hour after waking up. At first, it felt weird and uncomfortable. We realized how much we've been using noise to avoid being alone with our thoughts. But gradually, those quiet moments became precious. In the silence, we started noticing things we'd been missing. The way light changed throughout the day, the sound of our own breathing, thoughts and ideas that only seemed to come when there was space for them. We weren't trying to achieve some perfect meditative state. We were just giving ourselves permission to be quiet and see what happened.
5. Gratitude shifted from wanting more to appreciating what is. Japanese minimalism completely changed how we thought about gratitude. Before, we thought being grateful meant appreciating all the good things we had, which usually led to feeling like we should want even more good things. But living with less taught us a different kind of gratitude, one focused on presence rather than possessions. When you only have a few items in your home, you naturally start paying more attention to each one. We found ourselves really noticing the way sunlight looked coming through our simple curtains, or how good it felt to sit in our one comfortable chair. We weren't taking these things for granted anymore, because there weren't dozens of other things competing for our attention. This shift in gratitude started affecting how we saw everything else, too. Instead of rushing through meals while scrolling our phones, we started actually tasting our food. Instead of walking quickly from place to place, we began noticing the sky, the trees, the way the air felt on our skin. It sounds simple, but this change in how we paid attention felt deeply spiritual. We were connecting more directly with the present moment instead of always thinking about what we wanted next or what we were missing. 6. Inner clarity emerged from outer simplicity. Our final discovery was perhaps the most profound. As our external environment became simpler and clearer, our internal landscape started shifting too. With fewer distractions around us, we began hearing our own thoughts and feelings more clearly. Japanese minimalism helped us understand that clutter isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. When we cleared out the excess stuff from our surroundings, we somehow also cleared out some of the mental noise that had been making it hard to know what we really wanted or needed. We started making decisions more easily because we weren't overwhelmed by so many options. We felt more confident about our choices because we practiced letting go of things that didn't truly serve us. Most importantly, we began trusting our inner guidance more because we could actually hear it above all the external noise. This inner clarity didn't happen overnight, and it wasn't like suddenly having all the answers to life's big questions. It was more like gradually removing the static from a radio station. The signal was always there, but now we could tune in more clearly. Bringing it all together, these 6 spiritual lessons from Japanese minimalism taught us that growth doesn't always come from adding more practices or seeking more experiences. Sometimes the most powerful transformation comes from creating space, physical space, mental space, and spiritual space for what's already within us to emerge. We're not suggesting everyone needs to live exactly like we do now, or that having possessions is somehow wrong. What we learned is that being more intentional about our environment and our relationship with our stuff can open up unexpected pathways to spiritual growth. Japanese minimalism gave us tools we never expected, ways to practice letting go, create sacred space, find meditation in daily life, deepen gratitude, and develop inner clarity. These weren't lessons we set out to learn, but they became some of the most valuable spiritual teachings we've ever encountered. If you're curious about exploring this path yourself, start small. Choose one area of your home or one daily routine and bring some of this Japanese-inspired mindfulness to it. See what you notice when you create a little more space in your life. Thanks for joining us on this journey today. If these ideas resonated with you, we'd love to hear about your own experiences with simplicity and spiritual growth in the comments below. And if you want more content about living intentionally and finding meaning in everyday life, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, remember that sometimes the most profound discoveries come not from seeking more, but from making space for what's already here.